The old saying goes, if it's free, it's for me. Well, if that free product is Bud Light, a lot of people are passing.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
There's no doubt you've heard about the decline of Bud Light. For the three people in the back, Bud Light teamed up with social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney to celebrate the influencer's first 365 days as a girl. The company sent Mulvaney a can featuring their image as a congratulatory message. The post went viral on social media, creating a sales nightmare that lowered the value of the company's stock. But more importantly, it ruined their public image with consumers. Almost 2 months later, the bleeding has not stopped as things get worse for the Bud Light brand. Sales of Bud Light fell for a sixth straight week following the uproar over the brand's partnership with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney, new industry data shows, leaving more analysts weighing the short-term and long-term fallout for the 40-year-old light beer. Some analysts say that Bud Light was running out of time to turn sales around ahead of its Memorial Day weekend and predicted a discount wave, the likes which have not been seen since 2005. Bud Light volumes, a measure of liquids sold, for the week ending May 13th fell 28.4%. Following a 27.7% drop the week before, according to the trade publication Beer Insider Daily, which analyzed the Nielsen IQ data. In at least one store, the publication said a Bud Light 24-pack was as low as $3.49. This could be a promotional summer, the likes of which we haven't seen since after Hurricane Katrina in 2005, where there was so much beer inventory backed up that in the trade that initiated a price war of all price wars, which ended with InBev being about to initiate a hostile takeover of Anheuser-Busch. The publication said steep price-cutting battles are often spurred by outside events like hurricanes or in this case, anger over a partnership with Mulvaney. The difference this time, it was said, was that the external event was only negatively affecting one brewer. The publication said that volumes were down for Budweiser, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra, beer brands owned by Bud Light's parent company Anheuser-Busch InBev. However, volumes rose for rivals like Coors Light, Miller Lite, and Pabst. Bump Williams, president and chief executive of Bump Williams Consulting, said over email that if Bud Light couldn't turn sales around by Memorial Day weekend, this weekend, generally a holiday featuring heavy amount of grilling and beer drinking, then this brand and the entire AB InBev portfolio is in serious jeopardy of losing their consumer base forever. Experts have also said that politically led social media boycotts typically evaporate quickly, and that marketers are usually willing to suffer resistance from one demographic in order to win over another in the longer term. However, Bud Light has alienated its core consumer base. A JP Morgan analyst noted on Tuesday that the focus of AB investors has shifted squarely onto the potential impact from the Bud Light controversy and away from prior debates such as Latin America earnings trajectory. But he said that the impact on U.S. demand trends was already priced into the stock, that the company's earnings per share growth potential was still solid and that the shares could still get bigger to lift the company's second quarter results, but he was downbeat on the months ahead. We do not expect the lost sales to be recovered in the fiscal year 2024. He said that AB InBev already planned to make a bigger push in the summer promotional campaigns after a shift away from what we're doing in the fall and winter. We believe the declines will prove to be most sticky despite increased marketing spend from AB InBev over the summer. We believe there is a subset of American consumers who will not drink Bud Light for the foreseeable future. Bud Light also reportedly informed wholesalers that it would buy back unsold beer once it expires as the company continues to face backlash. It gets worse. Anheuser-Busch has deployed several potential efforts at smoothing soured relationships, the latest of which offers customers a $15 rebate if they purchase a 15-count or larger pack of Budweiser. Bud Light, a 15-count of Bud Light can sometimes cost less than $15, making the beer free or greatly reduced, in some areas. It's not the first time the company has given out free beer since the boycott began. Earlier this month, Bud Light offered free cases of beer to wholesalers, one per employee. The brand also promised to commit more funding to its marketing department, but sales have continued to drop nationwide. One wholesaler in Alabama even issued a public plea in a radio ad to convince angry consumers to return to the brand, adding that he himself didn't agree to the brand's decision to partner with Mulvaney. Nielsen's data for the week ending May 13th showed a 6.8% decline in the volume of Michelob Ultra, a 14.9% decrease in Budweiser, and an 8.5% fall in Natural Light. Another week of flattish trends sequentially for Bud Light indicates that track channels have reached a point of stabilization, albeit at significantly lower levels than prior to the controversy. The rest of ABI's portfolio moderated slightly after improving slightly in the week prior, which indicates that boycotts on the firm's portfolio outside of Bud Light are continuing at this point. As the Bud Light controversy continues well beyond analyst expectations, Bud Light plants itself firmly on the list of worst marketing decisions in history. The phrase, the new Coke of something, was always the standard for marketing failures, but Bud Light may take the crown for that. How do these marketing campaigns fail so miserably? The most straightforward answer is marketers forget who they're advertising to. A lot of blunders can be accounted for by the fact that the marketers sometimes take their eye off the prize and focus on being creative or unique rather than reaching their target audience. Creating campaigns that stand out is an important part of the process, but the effort to be ostentatious should never come at the compromise of alienating your buyers. By getting involved in the political discussion, Bud Light has alienated its core consumer base, And like we said in our first Bud Light video, alienating your consumers is the costliest mistake a company can make. Bud Light has learned that firsthand. Now before we go, let's take a look at how cheap Bud Light can be purchased online. You can get a 30-pack of Bud Light for $5.40, usually $20, from Metro Liquor. You can get a 6-pack of Tallboy cans for $1.89. A 6-pack of 12-ounce bottles for $1.66. A 6-pack of Bud Light Lime for $1.99. A 4-pack of Bud Light Chelada cans for $2.49. And the prices can vary to even lower. So folks, what do you think of this situation? As we always state at the end of these videos, I went to school for advertising and marketing, and I could have seen this a mile away, but this is just another follow-up to our previous 2 videos about Bud Light. You know our take, but we want to hear your take, so tell us down in the comments below. 3 questions for today. Do you live somewhere where you celebrate Memorial Day? What are you going to do this weekend? And will Bud Light be a part of that? Personally, Bud Light is never a part of any event I celebrate because it's Bud Light. But at the end of the day, alienating your consumer base is the costliest mistake you can ever make, and Bud Light is learning this all the way, not to the bank, but, well, we don't want to talk about that. And a bonus question. How long do you foresee this backlash, this boycott, this anger towards Bud Light going? It's been roughly 2 months, and every week there's a new article coming out saying, well, it's going to end this week, well, it's going to end next week, and this week and next week get here, and the numbers keep lowering. People are angry, an elephant never forgets. And the fuel that's been added to the fire by everyone just keeps this thing burning brighter and brighter as the hair on Bud Light's ass gets singed away. It can't be understated what a terrible decision this was. Alyssa Heinrichscheid, the VP of Bud Light, she doesn't like the consumer base. That podcast goes to confirm that. And, well, Bud Light doesn't really respect that consumer base either. And it's funny how they want to run to pro-America ads, they want to put out camouflage cans, they want to run to all these things that they basically didn't like before. That's just not a good move for them at all. Same thing with Miller Lite and their decision to have the anti-male campaign, the good shit, bad shit campaign. It was all bullshit in the end of the day. It doesn't really matter what they do. Getting political in these ads doesn't really benefit. And honestly, talking down to your consumer base, be it male or female, isn't right as well. And there's definitely a double standard. If a company came out and talked down to a male, it's considered comedy, it's considered progressive, it's considered good. But if a marketing campaign goes against women in the same way, it's sexist, it's racist, it's bigoted, somehow it's racist, completely irrelevant to the race, but it's a problem. Not all consumers are created equally to some of these modern day executives, but that's the problem. It's all green, it all folds, it all spends the same way. So don't piss in anyone's oatmeal, don't piss on anyone's parade, and don't piss on your consumer's face. Just because you produce piss water doesn't mean that you have the right to urinate all over what people like and believe in. That's it, really. They go against a lot of people's beliefs. And good or bad, it is not up for a company to decide. It's not up for a YouTube channel to decide. It's not up for anyone to decide except the consumers themselves. No business should be there to tell you you're wrong. They should be there with a smile on their face, an open palm in front of them, ready to receive your money, and that's the end of the transaction. Making any product political is a bad decision. Bud Light is going to be referred to as the new Blue Light Special, and like Kmart, Bud Light, well, they might go the way of Kmart one day. It's been 40 years, but all things come to an end, good and bad. And that may be the case with Bud Light, but time will tell. Each and every week a new article comes out claiming that we're near the end, we're near the end, we're near the end. Well, like analysts state, if Bud Light sales don't pick up on Memorial Day weekend, this weekend, just a few days away, then all is lost. So ladies and gentlemen, be ready for that article very, very soon. So folks, thank you for watching. I'll be back next time with more. But in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other. Ooh, and don't forget this 12-pack of Bud Light Orange, only $2.49.
Thanks for watching today's video. Yes, it's over, but don't cry because there's more, a lot more from World Class Bullshitters. And there's only one way to get it. Hit that subscribe button below. When you do that, you'll get notifications and updates from World Class Bullshitters every time we go live. Basically, you won't miss anything. And if there's one thing I hate, it's FOMO. But the thing most people hate more than FOMO is fear of missing out on World Class Bullshitters, because there's just some things you can't undo. So folks, do yourselves a favor and never miss anything from World Class Bullshitters. One last thing before you go, hit the thumbs up button. Not for our egos, no, they're big enough as this, but it does help us fight the algorithm here, and well, it's man versus machine, and that's the real fight. But if that's not your battle, That's okay. There's one last way you can help WCBS, and that's going over to shopwcbs.com, picking up a t-shirt, a beer glass, a sweatshirt, a poster, all sorts of ways to back WCBS. The difference between us and other YouTube channels is I'm the artist that makes all this stuff, so if you enjoy art, beyond t-shirts, you can even read our comic books. We got it all! We're called the epitome of pop culture for a reason, and no, again, it's not for our egos. So folks, make sure you're involved with every aspect of World Class Bullshitters, not just for us, but do it for yourself. We're making the change in entertainment everybody out there wants to see. And a special thank you goes out to all of our wonderful patrons who make this content possible. Go to patreon.com/worldclassbs to get involved and help out the channel.